my loves. Right, this is like a combo video. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to take the old shape of nail, which was like that modern almond shape, and or whatever almond you want to call it. It was my almond shape. And I'm going to turn it into a coffin nail. Okay, so all I did was grab my fine bit for my e-file just to remove this top layer of gel polish and the top coat, and obviously some of the residue where the crystals were a bit of a bugger to take off because I was using the new Bling Bond adhesive and it was rather strong. So I mean, for example, these gold nails on my right hand, I've had them on for about a month now, and like the crystal smile line and everything's still intact. I think I've lost one or two of the tiny little caviar beads, maybe two out of the whole hand. Yeah, no, maybe just one. But yeah, but I didn't use the adhesive for those, whereas everything I've used the adhesive for has stayed on and in place. So I'm taking off, as you can see, this top layer of top coat, and if there's any little bits of lifting, I'm just working on those. I'm not kind to my nails. I'm busy, I'm bashing them, I'm getting them caught, I'm packing things, I'm opening things. I don't look after them, and I'll be the first to admit that. So once I'm happy with that, I'm actually going to use my hand file. I prefer to start removing any lifting with the hand file and refine the shape with the hand file. It's the way I've always learned. So I'm trying to introduce a little bit more of e-filing to refine nails, but because it takes the pressure off my poorly hand, which is my right hand. But you know, I'm getting there. So I'm going to take the 180 grit and I'm supporting that nail. You see how I'm pinching it between my two fingers, and I'm going up and down. Now on a client, I'd probably go side to side. Well, I would go side to side. I'm doing up and down on me because it was easier to film that angle and it was easier on my hand. But I needed to support that so that I don't put any pressure on the nail plate, because that would be very, very sore otherwise. Now it's a bit shorter. I can try and refine that free edge there. But as you can see, all I've literally done is taken down the pointy edge and brought it back to a coffin shape. And then I'm just going to file over the bulk. There's my Ollie brush. You can get all the unicorn brushes in all the colours on my website. They're stunning. I'm going to start a bit of nail prep now. So I'm using my cuticle tool to push back the cuticles and start releasing the non-living tissue that has grown down onto the nail plate. Now, it's pretty much translucent until you disturb it. If you are not too keen on nail prep, or you have issues with nail prep, then I do have a short course on it. Or if you're a beginner, I do beginners training. So this stuff is kind of like the invisible demon of nails, because it will cause horrific lifting and the product just won't last at all unless you really get rid of it. And I mean, as you can see, you can still get lifting even with good prep if you mistreat your nails, which I did. But without good prep, they're not even going to last at all. They're just going to just plop off. And I remember many, many moons ago when I was training and a very, very newly qualified tech, I had a nightmare with prep. I just couldn't get nails to stay on. So I've been there, I've done that, I've got the t-shirt, and I can sort of give you guys the experiences I've had and the errors I've made and how not to do that, because it's quite embarrassing. So yeah, I'm just literally lifting that sticky tissue off the nail plate. Once I feel like I've released as much as I can, I'm going to then use the 180 grit side incredibly softly and just glide over that fresh nail growth just to buff that surface and get rid of the shine, etch it a little bit. You don't need, with today's products, right, you do not need deep etched lines in your natural nail. Imagine the damage that's doing to have these deep etched lines in that natural nail. You don't need it. You just need a bit of a buff over, a bit of a scratch up, nothing too deep or dangerous. Nice and gentle is the name of the game. Refine that shape a little bit more, just checking it through. I'm going to be filing it again anyway after I've infilled, because we're going to do an infill, in case I didn't tell you, which I didn't, but it would have been in the title. So I'm just looking at it, turning around, looking at it from different angles, going out of shot like a boss, and just getting little bits that are left from where I had a tiny bit of lifting. It's always like the corners for me because I'll catch it, and if I'm going to get it, that's where it'll be. And the reason why I showed you this one nail is because that was the one nail with lifting. The other ones didn't have any, but index fingers, yeah, they can be a bit of a bugger. Okay, so anything that's kind of sitting on that surface and dangling in the way, I'm going to remove, but I am not cutting off my proximal nail fold. Hell no. Who does that? That puts you at such a high risk of infection. So by all means, if you've got tissue that's like flopping about and getting in the way, that needs to go. But you just need to be aware of what you're cutting before you like make someone bleed or give them an infection. One more little go over because I'm just so paranoid that I need to check it again. And then I'm going to wipe it with isopropyl alcohol, get all the dust off with my Ollie brush, and add a tiny weeny drop of primer, just a little bit. I'm using my Alina size 10 acrylic brush, available on the website, darling. If you're going on my website, use code Sarah5, you'll save 5%. All good. Right. Going in with Toasted Rose from Nailmate, and I'm just going to plop that bead there, let it do its thing, and use the brush to just tap it into place and then blend it down. So easy. Infills are so good. I love infills. They're so quick and easy. That's why I decided to change the shape. I thought, can I be bothered, right, to soak off and put a new set on? No, is the answer to that. I really can't. If you want to know what tips I originally used, it was my TX Elite coffin tips, and I'd changed the shape into this almondy thing, and now I've changed them back into coffin. They're incredibly versatile, flexible tips, and they are a XXX length, but you don't need to use all that length. It just gives you flexibility, that's all. So going in with a little bit more, I have got like a stain on the inside where my natural nail's grown underneath, and I think it's from hair dye. I'm guilty as charged. I did stain my hands green recently as well from hair dye, doing my son's hair. Not good. Not my little boy, my 18-year-old. He had half green and half like dark brown, so I think I've just stained myself. Tucking that in at the sides, just using the middle of the brush to blend it all. Nice and easy. Making sure we got a nice little apex there. Don't need a massive apex, these are not long nails. Just as long as it's in the right place, which is the back third. And as long as you've not got a step coming out of the cuticle, you want that nail to sort of swoop up. I've waited for it to polymerize and set fully. I'm using that fine bit again. Sort of like 3/4 of the way round on the speed, not full whack, because I don't want to go all hell for leather. And I'm just going to roll over down the barrel of the nail, try and level out that surface. Like I said, it's really weird because finish filing with an e-file is something that still feels weird to me, because when I first learned it was all hand file, you must be able to hand file, you must, and I just, for years, it was years before I even picked up an e-file, I just was frightened of them. I'm not anymore, but finish filing, still naturally I grab my hand file. But as some of you know, I'm still waiting I've got to go back to the doctors to discuss x-ray results on my thumb, but I have to have steroid injections in my thumb on my right hand, and it's ever so painful. They only last a couple of months, and I struggle even just like opening a jar, holding the steering wheel on the car. So hand filing is really, really painful. But I do it because I love nails. Just love it. So if I can get my head around doing a bit more finish filing with an e-file, I'm guessing it will help. Well, it better anyway. But as you can see, I've gone straight back to the hand file, haven't I? And grasped it. It's like my comfort blanket. Then I'm going to get my 180 grip buffer. This is from Kylie Werry. I love it. Buff away all those lines so that we've got a nice surface to paint on. Get my Ollie brush. Yes, Now I need to clean this up, obviously. So I'm just going to... Oh, look, I saw something. The dog's snoring. I apologise if you can hear him. But he's had his pain meds, so he's like zonko. I'm just going to refine it a little bit more because I'm being fussy. I really think it's harder shaping your own nails. Let me know if you agree. Would you rather shape your own nails or someone else's? Let me know in the comments, because I find it hard doing my own. Get rid of all that dust. Get it gone. Still on my hand though. Silly me. Silly me! Look at it! Get that ollie brush on there. Okay. Right. Let's get to the artwork. Now, the hand painting was inspired by the amazing Chow legend. I love that person. He's amazing. Right, easy as pie and last but not least from Lecente are my chosen colours of today. I'm using my nail palette that Just Joe Nail Addict made me, and I give it a nice wipe over with isopropyl alcohol because I can guarantee you there'll be a paw print on there or a bit of cat fur, because my cats, they jump everywhere on my nail desk. They're horrible to me, especially when I'm doing nails. In fact, during filming this, the kitten jumped up and scratched my thigh and it was bleeding everywhere. Okay, there's a cat hair on the end of my nail, look. Gross. Actually, it's not, as a fibre from my apparently lint-free wipes. They weren't lint-free. I'm just going to do some swirlies. There was it was not recently, not super recently, but Chow Legend did a set and they just had the swirls on them. I've kind of done my own thing, but taken inspo with the shapes of his swirls because I really like the way he does them. And instead of, he did it with like a blue, light minty green and a gold, and I'm doing a light blue, a baby blue and a silver. And obviously bling. Hello. But this way, one of my ambassadors says to her little girl, say hello to Auntie Bling, because I'm just obsessed. Aren't I? I am obsessed. It might not even be healthy. I don't really know. Look at that swirl. So I've cured that for 30 seconds. That's such a sexy swirl. Then I'm going in with last but not least. And I'm going to do a kind of swirl down the bottom. Just go with the flow. Swirl it around. And when I'm happy with it, I'll give that a 30-second cure. I haven't really done many swirly nails. Everyone else was doing them, so I just didn't feel like I needed to. There was enough out there. Right, once that's cured, I'm going to add a layer of matte top coat. So get the matte top coat on there. Now, little tip, because I noticed this on my thumbnail, so I did it on the others. Sometimes with a light colour, a matte top coat will drag the inhibition layer down and create a smudge. So wipe over it first with isopropyl alcohol, remove the inhibition layer, then go in with your top coat. Okay, so that's mattified. I'm now going to grab Lecente's foil gel and do a swirly near the swirlies that are there. It's very, very simple. I'm going to do it up against this blue one and just kind of follow the line and the thicknesses. I mean, you can experiment, can't you, with things like this and just go with the flow and do it however you like. But yeah, this gel's thicker, so it's easier to work with. It's not going to bleed out everywhere. It does, however, need a 120-second cure because it is thicker and it's super, super sticky, which is why it's the foil gel. Makes sense, right? So just dragging it down, tailing it off, and then we'll do the 120-second cure on that. This is the foil I'm going to be using. It's this weird, cool effect. If I saw an alien spacecraft, this is what I'd want it to look like. Cut off a square of that and just rub it in once that nail's cured, and it will just stick. Nice and easy. I'll put the links to Lecente and everything in the description box as well, and I do have an ambassador code for them. So rub it in, nice and easy. Ping, there you go, look at that. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to top coat the foil in the gloss top coat, because I just like the contrast. I saw that on the Chow Legend post and I was like, yes, I love that contrast between the matte and the gloss. So just using my detailer brush to go over. It's really, really easy. It's not hard to do, honestly. Just take your time with it. I've sped this up. I don't work this fast. And then once that's all in place, I'll pop it in the lamp. I did realise that a little bit of top coat kind of started to slide off, because top coat is a lot thinner, isn't it? So yeah, I did have to use my gel brush just to tidy that up a little bit and just make sure I didn't go and cure a big splodge of gloss top coat, because that would have looked really weird. Okay, see there at the side? So I'll just get my brush, tidy that up, because we don't want that. Goodbye. There you go. Right, give that a cure. And that's the thumb done. So I'll show you a couple more nails, and then we'll jump forward to the bling, because there's only a couple of different types of swirl that I use. So I thought I'll show you a couple of different types and then, you know, just go with the flow. So I'm going to pop some music on and let you chill out and watch this. So let's do the magic fast forward thingamajig. Here we are, they're done. And now I'm going to add these stunning blue opal crystals. They are available on the website. You can either have the pack of 1400 like this. I also have a ton of individual shapes like teardrop, raindrop, pear drop, tiny little diamond shapes, rectangles, all sorts. So go and have a little look on the website. I'll link it in the description. And I'm going to use my Bling Bond adhesive and my Alina pickup tool and just bling these bad boys up. It's just what needs to be done. The setting time on the Bling Bond is 1 to 2 seconds. It is a fast set and it's a hard, sort of firm set. But that's perfect because it works for me because I use loads of different crystals and they don't come off. You can hear them, look. If that's not ASMR, I don't know what is. Right, I'm going to let you watch me blinging these up. So once they're all in place, I'm then going to seal them in. I'll show you doing one nail, and because it's the same for every nail. So I'll just take the matte top coat that I've used and I'll tuck it in literally around the base of every crystal and just feather it down a little bit. Don't go over the crystals, it absolutely ruins them, it destroys them. But if you tuck it in around every little gap, then you're making sure that they're not going to get caught in people's hair, caught on clothing or anything like that. And it also stops moisture getting in there and it just protects them, seals them and then keeps them in place. So we just look, tiny little bits, just get a detailer brush, take your time with it. Once I'd done this, I just gave them a cure, applied a little bit of cuticle oil, and I'll let you see the final video. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Check out the website link and yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Tally bye! Don't forget to like, subscribe and share it to a friend that you think might like it. I always forget to say that. I'll see you in the next video. Tally bye!